A prayer service helped students face the reality of last night's blaze. Hundreds of students and faculty rejoiced in song, prayer, and some laughter. And President Bill Brown updated students on what would happen in the next couple of days. Students say it's going to be tough to forget this fire.
Last night it was just unreal. I couldn't believe it was happening. It was like a bad dream. And then this morning it's just, wow, this really did happen. You know, it's just completely gone.
Classes will resume tomorrow.
Those flames may have also destroyed pieces of American history. The third floor of the administration building housed original documents from the Scopes monkey trial. Today, administrators are trying to assess the damage. News 12's Doug Weeder is live at Bryan College now with more on that. Doug?
Well, Jerry, investigators from the State Fire Marshal's office are continuing their investigation into the night, but already they know that several items of tremendous historical and educational significance have been lost in this fire. Bryan College students stare in awe at the gutted shell of their administration building, the entire third floor destroyed by flames.
This is like the heartbeat of the campus.
This is the place that you spent your days, and it's sad, really sad.
The fire ripped through the campus building, consuming one room at a time. Lost in the blaze, a $4 million library, a new computer lab, science classrooms, and one of the finest natural science museums in the Southeast.
Things are temporal, but they still hurt to see all lost, and my efforts are just a little bit compared to many of the professors that have spent their lives here.
Also stored in this building are items from the event that put Dayton, Tennessee in the national spotlight 75 years ago. Hundreds of documents and exhibits from the Scopes monkey trial are in a room on the first floor. It's feared the irreplaceable items suffered smoke and water damage.
We're way down the bottom floor, and the water came down, and a couple inches of it may be on the floor itself, but I think a lot of them will be okay.
Meanwhile, a crew from the State Fire Marshal's office arrived on scene around midday. Officials believe they know where the fire started. They don't know how. College administrators are staying upbeat.
This is an opportunity, and while it's very sad, you saw a lot of tears last night. They were saying, you know, let's get going.
With those words, this campus will try and return to normalcy, asking not why did this happen, but how can we overcome it? This building is still incredibly unstable. Very few people have been allowed in and out, and investigators for that reason have been taking this investigation very slowly and deliberately. But already they believe they can rule out arson as a cause. They say there is simply no evidence indicating that this fire was deliberately set. Jerry?
Doug, what about the damages? Any way to put a dollar value on what was lost in the fire?
That can be very difficult because although these items had tremendous historical value, it's hard to put a monetary value on them, but some early estimates have damage from this fire reaching into the $10 million area, so a tremendous loss.
It sure is.
Administration building in Dayton, Tennessee around 6 o'clock last night. The fire started on the third floor of the 70-year-old building.
Investigators are having a hard time trying to figure out what caused this blaze. The conditions are too dangerous right now for them to get inside and gather any information.
People have been at the scene of the fire all night and all day, including students and teachers. They came together this morning for a prayer service. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dana Rice was also there, and she has the story.
From the chorus of more than 550 voices came a song of hope.
It's amazing the feeling you get. You could feel God in there. I mean, he was just ever present all around. It was really moving, very moving.
And their emotions are what Bryan College students say will get them through this crisis. Just hours after fire ripped through their school administration building, the students come together to decide what comes next.
We have much to thank God for, much to ask God why.
They share prayer, tears, and even a laugh.
Those of you that jumped to your feet are the ones I told that all the grade records had been destroyed.
But joking aside, so much is now lost. Students helped construct this building in the 1930s and 40s. Some current co-eds have ties that go back almost that far.
It started out, my grandparents sent my dad here. He met my mom here. Both of my sisters have gone. All my aunts and uncles have gone. My cousins have all gone. All my sisters, both my sisters met there. Husband's here.
Gone are the classrooms where Sherry Hogriff and her family took tests, the library where they studied, and the offices their teachers called home.
The one thing that makes me the most sad is the professors that had their work up there, 30 years of research of their life. I mean, I feel so bad for them. I mean, they care so much about the students here.
And the students say dealing with some temporary inconveniences is easier than dealing with grief.
It's just stuff to us. I mean, it's valuable stuff that we lost, but it's not people as far as we know, and so that really is what matters to us.
Classes will begin again tomorrow. For now, they will be held in other campus buildings. But several churches in the area and Chattanooga State have offered their facilities as well.
David, yes, they are. In fact, I think you can see them if you take a look up onto the 3rd floor of the building. There are 3 investigators from the fire department inside the building right now. Apparently what they're trying to do is attach some of the debris inside the building to a crane so it can be moved out of here and they can start moving around inside the building a little bit easier. Now, hazardous materials crews were also on the scene for much of the day today. They are working to clean up a chemical spill, and until that spill is completely cleaned up, there is not a lot investigators can do. When investigators tried to go into the building to determine the extent of the damage yesterday, they realized the chemical mercury had spilled inside one of the classrooms. Because it could pose a health risk, the fire marshal was forced to put the investigation into the cause of the fire on hold. Now, several people from a special operations team are in town from Nashville to investigate the cause of the fire. They have set up a mobile command center. Now, investigators initially said that the cleanup would only take an hour or 2, but at this point, we heard just a little while ago that it could take until Thursday. But apparently that's not stopping part of the investigation from continuing because, as you just saw, there are some fire officials inside the building right now. In fact, it looks like they're about to come out. Now, coming up tonight on Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6, we will talk with some students who had their first day back in class today. We'll find out how they're coping. For now, we are live in Dayton. Dana Rice, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Investigators say they now know what caused the main building at Bryan to go up in flames Sunday night.
They just wrapped up a news conference on that investigation about 30 minutes ago, and Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Ted Daniel was there. He joins us now with more details. What'd you find out, Ted?
Well, Bill, first of all, and most important, the fire has been ruled an accident. Investigators say it appears to be an electrical problem in the drop ceiling of a 3rd floor classroom. Investigators tell us there are many wires in that drop ceiling area, and one of them may have sparked this fire. Now, the fire destroyed the entire 3rd floor of the Bryan College Administration building. The 1st and 2nd floors suffered smoke and water damage. It burned out of control for almost 6 hours, jumping 2 firewalls. Damage estimate right now is between $6 and $10 million. Fire investigators were finally able to get into the building this morning. They were kept out for several days because of a chemical spill. Some liquid mercury leaked on the floor. Now, the president of the college, Dr. Bryan, just spoke to the media. He is very optimistic.
Grateful that it was an accidental fire, and we hope to begin rebuilding right away. It looks as though insurance and gifts that we hope will come in will take care of what we need in the way of rebuilding and getting back on our feet.
Now, the state investigation is now over, so the building has actually been turned back to the school, and the school has already begun. As you can see behind me, some of these folks have already started moving things out and getting the necessary equipment that they need to clean up the school. And they have actually canceled classes tomorrow and hired many of the students to help them out. They're all going to have an entire big cleanup day tomorrow to get at least some of this job done, but the job should take several months. Now, the president of the college also tells us that they do plan to rebuild if the building is a total loss, but they have not made that decision yet. And right now, they're just looking to get this building cleaned up for now. We're live in Dayton, Channel 3. Ted Daniel, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Legg's office, 2 offices down with nothing on it, and then this, just water goes where it wants to, I guess.
And fire makes the ceilings and walls cave in.
Concrete, yeah, this was probably put in there in the 40s.
The halls are filled with busy students, but they aren't between classes. They're helping their teachers clean up the rubble.
Come tomorrow, I think I'm going to trash most of it.
The cleanup will take time, but everyone agrees they expected things in the ad building to be worse.
I think for the most part, faculty on this end of the building came out fairly well.
And the students will not have classes tomorrow. President William Brown says that they will come in here instead and continue their cleanup effort. Sally?
Now, Ebony, any plans for how the college is going to pay for all of this damage?
Well, insurance people put the estimate between $6 and $10 million, the damage that was done. But what they're going to do is pay for it with insurance money and also donations. Just this morning, Lee College came and gave them a donation of $10,000. And as you may remember, the Lee College lost a dorm in 1993 to a fire just like this one.
So they know what it's like.
Fire at Bryan College. The Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office today said it was an electrical short that triggered the blaze on the 3rd floor of the administration building. To be specific, Chief Bo Kaler said wires around a junction box above a drop ceiling caught fire. The fire destroyed most of the classrooms at the college, as well as its Natural Science Museum. This afternoon, faculty members had a chance to see the inside of the building for the first time. Administrators say they will rebuild.
It's really an overwhelming experience, but you know other people have done it. You know, we've got a God who's big enough to handle this and more, and still waiting to see what he works out, but we're going to do it.